We're diving into the ultimate paradox today. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
We take dozens of sources, often really dense ones, and we distill them down into the highest impact knowledge for you.
So you can walk away well-informed and hopefully a little transformed.
Today we are exploring an ancient map of the self. I mean, it's this hidden science that's often kind of disguised by sacred symbols and divine myths.
Right. And it's so important to see past that. This isn't just religious history.
No, it's really a profound manual for your internal operating system. Our mission today is to take a foundational, really cosmic relationship, that of Shiva and Shakti.
A huge topic.
Huge topic. And understand how these two principles manifest, directly inside your own body.
Through the three central energy channels, the Nadis.
The Nadis, exactly.
That's right. And for you, the learner, our goal here is functional understanding. We want to translate these complex spiritual diagrams into something practical.
Into psychophysics, almost.
Yes. We're moving past the statues to define the principles. And the core concept we synthesized is that Shiva, which is awareness, and Shakti, which is energy, they aren't separate deities. They're not opposing forces.
They're two sides of the same coin.
Two inseparable principles of the exact same existence. And understanding how they flow within you. Well, that's a shortcut to inner integration and, as the texts say, mastery within life.
Okay, let's unpack this.
So we have to begin with this fundamental reality. They are one existence, just expressed in duality.
Okay, so let's define them. Shiva.
Shiva is the still point. He's pure, unmoving, silent awareness. Think of him as the eternal canvas upon which all of creation occurs.
The ultimate observer.
The ultimate observer, changeless and eternal.
And if Shiva is that eternal silent potential, then Shakti is the other half, the ultimate kinetic energy.
She is. She is the creative force, the dynamism, that endless flow.
So everything we can perceive or touch or experience.
That's Shakti. She's the paint and the brush on Shiva's canvas.
But the sources we looked at are incredibly emphatic about their interdependence. We've all seen those images of Shiva completely inert without Shakti.
Yes.
What happens when that breaks down, even internally inside of us?
That is the high-impact takeaway right there.
Yeah.
When Shiva, the silent awareness, is separated from Shakti, the boundless energy, what you get is chaos.
Undirected chaos.
Undirected creative chaos. It's like an engine running without a steering wheel.
I see that.
And this is why you see these highly driven people, pure kinetic Shakti. They're perpetually busy. They achieve massive goals, but they feel
empty,
deeply unfulfilled or lost. They have the engine, but they lack the internal GPS. That's Shiva.
It's unrealized potential in the worst way. It's just doing, but not knowing why.
Exactly. And the reverse is just as debilitating. Without Shakti, Shiva pure awareness, it just remains an unrealized potential. It's a silence that never finds a voice.
So you have this perfect clarity of vision, but no will, no energy.
No means to express it or ground it in reality. They are a single, necessary cycle. Awareness must inform energy.
And energy must express awareness.
And this whole dynamic, this cosmic marriage, it's mapped perfectly onto your physiology.
Yeah.
We're not talking about abstract ideas.
We're talking about something physical.
Subtle, but physical. We're talking about channels of energy, the Nadis, that flow directly along your inner universe, your spinal column.
And the texts describe thousands of these channels, but there are three that are really central to this whole idea.
The main ones.
Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. You can think of them as the three main power lines that dictate how you experience reality, moment to moment.
Let's start with the two side channels first. This is the duality that defines, the bulk of human consciousness. Ida and Pingala.
Okay.
Ida flows along the left side of the spine. We call it the lunar channel.
Lunar, so cool energy.
Exactly. Its energy is cool, it's highly receptive, intuitive, and deeply inward. Ida governs your whole mental landscape, memory, sensitivity, emotion.
It's Shakti in her reflective, feminine expression.
Yes, and that's a key point. The critique we saw in some interpretations is that this energy gets mislabeled.
As passive or weak.
Right. But the texts are very precise. This energy is responsive and it's perceptive. It's the deep well of intuition.
And it's linked externally to the left nostril, right? That's why breathing through your left nostril can make you feel calmer, more introspective.
Precisely. And then we pivot dramatically to Pingala.
The solar channel.
The solar channel. Flowing along the right side. This energy is fiery, warm, active, logical, and very outward focused.
This sounds like the opposite.
It is. Pingala dictates action, willpower, your metabolism, your focus. This is Shakti in her expressive masculine movement.
So if Ida is the receptive dreamer who processes the world, Pingala is the decisive doer who goes out and transforms it. The sources really emphasize its characteristics as being direct, penetrating.
Transformative. It's the energy that cuts through complexity, and it corresponds to the right nostril.
So if you're breathing more through the right, you feel more driven, focused, maybe even a little agitated.
You can, yeah. And when you look at the visualizations of these two, they spiral around the central spine like two cosmic serpents. They cross at each energy center, each chakra.
But they never touch.
They never touch. Yet they're constantly influencing each other, mirroring all those fundamental dualities, moon and sun, night and day.
Intuition and logic, rest and action. It's that constant internal debate.
It really is.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because the sources aren't just describing a balance, they're describing a limitation.
Yes.
If the goal is just balance, why is this duality considered an incomplete state?
That is the critical point. As long as your energy flow is limited to cycling between Ida and Pingala, your consciousness is inherently divided. You're stuck.
Stuck in that tug of war.
That constant internal tug of war, pulled between memory and potential, between logic and emotion, action and inertia. We live most of our lives just oscillating between the need to rest, which is Ida, and the need to act, which is Pingala.
And that oscillation, that's where suffering comes from.
The sources say that's what creates the feeling of separation. So duality alone, it doesn't lead to liberation.
So we have to go beyond it.
To resolve this, we have to turn our attention to the one channel that supersedes the conflict.
The Sushumna.
Sushumna.
It's the central pillar, running straight through the spine from the root all the way to the crown. It's not solar, it's not lunar.
It's neutral.
It's just stillness, silence.
And in the deepest philosophical texts, Sushumna is Shiva. It's the core of pure awareness, just waiting to be accessed.
Waiting for the storm to pass.
Exactly. It's the unmoving observer at the eye of the storm, but it's only accessible when the energies of Ida and Pingala find true, sustained equilibrium.
So how do we get there? How do we get the energy, the Shakti, out of those two sidetracks and into that central channel? The mechanism can sound a bit abstract.
It can, but the process isn't about force. It's not about aggression. It's all about refinement.
Okay.
The ancient texts, especially those on pranayama or yogic breath control, they insist on prerequisites. You have to clean out the side channels first.
Purify Ida and Pingala.
You have to. And this is done through practices like alternate nostril breathing, Nadis. When you get to a state where your breath flows equally, freely, without any strain, through both nostrils at the same time,
You're sending a signal.
you're signaling to your internal system that the opposites have resolved their tension.
So the mechanism is this. When the breath becomes balanced, when your attention becomes perfectly present, the energy just naturally diverts.
It stops polarizing and flows into Sushumna.
So each crossing point is like a lesson.
It's a lesson. It dissolves the specific blockages related to that center, fear, attachment, identity, whatever it is.
So it's not a power surge, it's a systematic refinement.
It is. Shakti is refined, becoming pure, subtle potential flowing up. And Shiva, the awareness, becomes fully expressive, fully grounded.
Your perception expands, the internal noise dissolves.
It just quiets down.
And the culmination is at the crown, the highest chakra, where Shiva and Shakti finally meet. And the texts say they meet not as two, but as one.
That's the integration.
It's not about rejecting the world to find Shiva or pursuing mindless activity to find Shakti.
It's the realization that they were never really separate to begin with.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, I mean, the universality of this inner map is just stunning. It really confirms its validity.
It really does. You
Yeah.
can find this tripartite structure echoed in basically every tradition we study. Take Taoism.
Okay.
It's built on complementary dual forces.
Yeah.
Ida and Pingala are perfectly mirrored by Yin and Yang, the receptive and the active, the dark and the light.
So what's Sushumna in that framework?
It's the Tao itself, the ultimate middle path, the source that exists beyond all polarity.
And we even see it in modern psychology, which is maybe more relatable for a lot of us. Ida is emotional intelligence, the subconscious feelings, memories.
Right, and Pingala is the logical, rational mind, the planning, the strategy, the execution.
So Sushumna becomes that pure, silent awareness, the observing consciousness.
The part of you that can watch both the emotions and the thoughts without judgment, without attachment.
It's the difference between being swept away by a wave and just watching the wave move.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
The ancient yogic masters, they were seeking alignment, not worship. They understood that achieving this balance meant mastery in life, because the state of your inner plumbing dictates the quality of your outer experience.
And we all see the imbalance. Let's look at what happens when there's an excess of one or the other.
A very practical way to see it.
If you're dominated by Ida, that lunar energy, you become melancholic,
Overly sensitive, prone to self-doubt.
emotionally reactive, paralyzed by indecision. You might have these beautiful insights, but they get stuck in anxiety or...
Creative stagnation. You dream endlessly, but you never file the patent.
Exactly. And the reverse, Pingala excess.
That manifests as hyperactivity, constant stress, a quickness to anger or even rage.
You're driven, you're focused, but you lack empathy.
You burn out. You substitute sheer activity for true purpose. You build these empires, but you never connect to the deeper wisdom that gives them meaning.
This sounds like the modern workplace, just distilled into a single energy dynamic.
It is. The conflict between the sensitive, strategic team and the aggressive, results-driven management.
So the integrated person, the Sushumna-aligned person,
That's the one who moves with clarity, with presence, with purpose. When the energy flows in the center, emotion becomes wisdom. Action becomes conscious and efficient.
and stillness isn't just an absence of activity.
It becomes a vibrant, expressive state. The inner conflict just ends.
And the final promise that we pull from this deep dive is, well, it's genuinely profound. When that internal union happens, when Shiva and Shakti merge in the center of your being,
The energy inside you aligns with the energy outside you.
the universe within aligns with the universe without. That is the ultimate definition of being centered.
It is.
So what does this all mean? I mean, it seems like the goal of all this internal science, these centuries of refinement, it all just boils down to one thing:
A merging of stillness and movement.
awareness and energy, silence and sound. It's resolving that duality that defines our everyday experience into a state of unity.
And this profound internal alignment, it ends the perceived separation between you and everything else.
Right.
The hidden science behind all these sacred symbols, the journey of Kundalini rising through Sushumna, it all leads to one ultimate result. It's the end of that psychological division that tells you you're incomplete.
When Shiva and Shakti merge, separation ends, and what remains is you.